All right, everybody. Hello, welcome to the call. Tonight is Monday, June 3rd, right? Monday, June 3rd, and I'm Debbie Robinson. I'm a Presidential Diamond, and I'm super excited because I just got back this weekend from the Anmp, the Association of Network Marketing Professionals. And it's been the third year that I've been there. It would have been my third year as a speaker. And what I love about going to industry events is, first of all, without me going to these events, so much of what we have now done within ASEA, with a lot of our social media, we wouldn't have done that had I not been able to have my associations and my friendships with other organizations. And I also go to these because I continually want to be poured into so that I can then pour it out to you. Because I know I don't have all the answers. And I know that we don't even have all the answers here in ASEA as far as building businesses. And for me to have dozens and really dozens of dear friends now from across the world who are top ranking, top figure earners in their companies, it's really been exciting for me. But I want to jump right over to our new Platinum Associate, Danielle Matthews, who I'm so excited. She's a millennial, and she came to the Anmp. And I want her to tell you from her perspective what she gleaned, what she learned, and what she wants to do to put some of these new best practices into place. So Danielle, over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Denny. So, when I say yourself, company, a belief in this industry and in the products. And, I didn't know anything about network marketing prior to starting with ASEA. I entered into ASEA because of the product and because of what it did for me. But as I've decided this year I want to go full time into building this business, I thought, okay, well, I have a lot to learn. And I had been watching actually Denny go to these conferences in the past, and I thought, wow, what a smart thing to connect with professionals in this field and to learn from them. So I went to the Anmp with a couple of goals. I wanted to meet other millennials that are building network marketing businesses and see how they're doing it. And then I wanted to understand how social media is really being implemented in network marketing kind of across the board. As well as just kind of get a sense of the types of people and the hearts of people in this industry, because you hear so much negative, at least I did prior to this, about it. And I will tell you guys, oh my gosh, I'm like still on a high from everything that I gleaned. It was like TED Talks from every top network marketer. Each one was power packed. If you were to ask me, did they talk about X, Y, or Z? The answer was yes. And not yesterday, I don't even know what day it is. Saturday was Social Media Saturday. And number one, it just gave me so much gratitude to Denny and Alyssa for what they did when they learned about the ad tag message, the ATM system, getting ASEA Healthy Self put into place, these units on ASEA United. There's so much. And, what really struck me was that's where people are that need us, that 80%, Some of us want to go big in network marketing. Others just want an extra $500, an extra $1,000 a month. And I think what hit me the most is that that's what our industry can really help with. And, 80% of people, that's kind of what they're going to want. And so we need to make this so simple so that a stay-at-home mom who's got 4 kids running around can do it. And one thing for me has been, the way I built my business has been a lot of live events and going out and networking, because I did it all in the cold market. And it really opened my eyes to the fact that the cold market is huge on the internet, and you can do so much with it, and your impact can be so much larger. And Jessica Higdon, Ray Higdon's wife, who some of you might know, he does rank makers. He's pretty well known in the industry. They both are. She said something that I think really hit home to me. And she said, I did a social media strategy for 180 days straight, nonstop, did what I had my DMO. And she said nothing happened for 180 days. And then after 180 days, I got a customer. And she said, and then all of a sudden it just opened up, and all those seeds that I had been planting started to bloom, and she got crop, and she said it just took off. And so it really stuck to me that, yeah, just because you tried it with 1 person or 5 people or 10 people doesn't mean that the strategy's wrong. It just takes time to build relationships online. And a couple of things, there was so much. So Denny, to shorten this into a short call, we'll see. But one thing with the ATM system that here at ASEA we're utilizing, people know well. One thing that I went, oh, I wasn't doing that. So for those of you that aren't aware, ATM stands for add. So I've been talking with someone. I don't just add them right away. I've gotten permission. I've been talking with someone online or maybe even offline, and I've brought them online. And I say, hey, I'd really love, to share X testimonial with you. Would you mind if I add you to this group? So they say yes. So I add them to the group, and that's the A part for ATM. And then I tag them, that's the T part, in the post. Once they accept that they want to be in the group, I tag them in a post that's relevant to them. And then I thought the message was to message them to let them know, hey, you've been tagged. But the little twist that I got from this weekend was message them on a three-way. So rather than, having to coordinate three-way calls and everyone getting on the phone at the same time and taking a message from chat to a three-way call, no, if you just, if I looped in Denny into Messenger on Facebook, now I can say, hey, Denny, this is my friend, Allie. She's been suffering with, lots of pounding in her head for a really long time. I shared my testimonial and a couple others on ASEA Healthy Self. And I just wanted to connect with you. Allie, Denny's been working with this technology for almost a decade. She's seen quite a bit. She's a wealth of knowledge. Well, now Denny doesn't have to respond immediately. She can jump in whenever she has a minute and can respond very quickly. And now a chat can get going. And there's this social proof, the three-way, the expert validation that's happening, each of us in our own time and in a space that feels comfortable for everyone. So that was a big aha moment from the weekend, I'll tell you that. And I think the other was just to, not try a million things, just pick like one strategy and work it and you'll get better. I wasn't on social media prior to ASEA. I had come off of it completely when I was healing from my accident because, to just be frank with you, it depressed me to get on because people's lives were doing a lot and I wasn't. So last year I made the decision to get back on and to just put content up, to just start, posting some things. And I think about a couple of things that the way I would think about it is if I'm sitting in your living room with you, what would you want me to see? What would I see? Is it family? For me, it's my dog, pictures of nature, traveling. That's what you're going to see if you come to my family room. Mm-hmm. So that's what I put on my Facebook. And those are the only things I post about. And, now you start there, then you take it to the next level, doing live videos, getting into Facebook groups. Anyway, I'm getting into details, but big picture of the conference, it really hit home to me that, this profession, the future of it, there's so much online. Like our ability to impact people, guys, is massive. If you get into the online space, you can just reach people that otherwise you wouldn't come in contact with. And that's where people are. And to me, it just really made me go, look, put your ego aside, Danielle, put your uncomfortableness aside with it because you can serve more and you can do more on this platform. So take the time to learn how to do it from the professionals. And if, you guys, Denny took videos and put them up in ASEA United of some of these speakers, so you can go watch. Or if you just search the names of the people that spoke at the Anmp and you just start following them online, you can learn from them. And the beautiful thing about this industry is people are so giving. I sat next to a gentleman on the plane ride home. He's been in the industry for 9 years, and he just poured into me everything that his company is doing and how he's been having success. And he said, you call me anytime. If you want to jump in and learn, come onto my phone calls, see how we present things, I'm happy to do it. So going to something like this, it was just really nice to meet, for me, other young people that are doing this profession, what got them excited about it, how they're building it. And I think that, these relationships that you build, like Denny said, it was how she was able to bring this system to ASEA. It's because of relationships that she formed there. And so for me, it's huge. It was so much.
How did it make you feel to realize those people, right, who had literally, you guys, changed their lives? There is, from every walk of life, from every dire strait that you could think of, who have elevated themselves really through network marketing. To be there, Danielle, to realize I can be that in ASEA, that's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. And that was you just hit it. What really what made me go, wow, was just the different types of people that are in this industry and the why behind it, but the fact that this is access to everyone and you cannot prejudge. I mean, there was a woman that shared that she had been an addict and literally made the decision not to shoot up one day and to have a different life, and got invited to a presentation and got into network marketing. And she's now, I think, $1 million earner. And, other people that were, professional lawyers that now decided, hey, this is something that I want my time back. So you have this whole spectrum, and our industry can reach each of those people. Mm-hmm. And I think the other piece is what I really learned from each speaker was that their power came in the fact that they knew themselves, mm-hmm. they knew what they wanted, they knew their own values, and that's what they spoke to. They spoke from their heart, and that heart and that message connected with a certain population out there. And I think one speaker said, you only need 1,000. Get 1,000 people in your tribe, 1,000 people that resonate to what you resonate with, and you're going to have a massive business. Mm-hmm. So that, I think, is also huge. No, you don't need to be like anybody else. You don't have to try to be like anybody else. The power in these people that have made it is because they're just themselves, and they're authentic, and they're very real, and they just have systems that they use day in and day out to, they never fail. Ray Higdon has made a live video 9.5 years straight every single day. That's why he's the best at it.
You know what, you guys, on that, Ray Higdon is a dear friend of mine as well. Jessica, I've spoken at their events as well, been on a lot of their Zoom calls that they do. Ray Higdon is Rank Makers. Now, if you want someone to drive you every single day, if you really want to be accountable, you can go to Rank Makers on Facebook and you can actually join their site. I think it's $20. I think it's $20 a month. I love Rank Makers. I endorse Rank Makers, and I think it's great. He does Ray dailies every single day. They do gifts, they do shout outs. You actually, kind of really turn in your numbers. So if you're someone who ever really wanted a coach, I really support Ray Higdon. The other thing about that is, Danielle would tell you, we had people who were there in their early 20s, people who were in their 20s making millions of dollars as well. But then we had Larry Thompson, who now, he's an icon, a legend, has been in this profession we celebrated his 50th anniversary last year. Ray Higdon was Larry Thompson was in the front row the entire weekend taking notes. So what does that tell you? You're never too old. You don't know as much, and actually they're still building, and he has invested really big to learn more even about social media. But again, front row all weekend long, taking notes. Also, if this intrigues you, the Anmp, it's typically always held this first weekend in June. Let me tell you, one of my dear friends, his name is Brian McMullen. He's also an icon in the profession. And when you buy large package of tickets, kind of like conventions, you get them for a really reduced cost. And Brian's presentation, he showed pictures of a lot of his friends he used to hang out with. Had he not got involved in network marketing, he showed the funerals of these friends who were drug addicts or whatever. They had made some choices in their life, and he goes, that is what my life would have been like. And he stood up and said, I want those people who were like me, who can't get there, to be able to come and have the VIP experience. And so he matched $50,000 worth. If you want a ticket, like if you got a VIP ticket for $350, he'll give you one free. And then my friend Angel Fletcher, who was on Foods, just life was bad not many years ago, she matched another $50,000 to really get people. So there is no other event that to have that many leaders. You're sitting at rounds with Jordan Adler and Larry Thompson. So again, if you have money, if you've already been to your convention, your ascent, and it was something that works for you, if you want to get the really big picture, again, this is one more event that I would say you might want to take a look at. Okay, I want to leave you guys with also a few things. Danielle, anything else before I kind of take the ball from you?
No, I think that's it. It's just to get the bigger vision on our industry. What's possible beyond. We have incredible leaders in this company, and there are some magnificent leaders in other companies that you can learn from, get coached by. And that's what it did for me. It really just made my vision even larger for what's possible for us with the type of product that we have and the ethos of our company. It just really made me go, wow, I'm grateful I am where I am. Mm-hmm. And I'm ready to blow this thing out of the water.
Let's talk about something for a second, though. You mentioned it even. we're, as you mentioned, 80% of the people, you guys, seriously just want to pay for their product. They want to make $250 to $500 a month. But what happens is, for those of you who are really involved in the business, or sometimes we're trying to have that 5% conversation, the people who really want to build a business, with 80% of the population who really like their jobs. They seriously would just like to make $250 to $1,000 an extra month, which is the base of what most networkers are going to do. So remember that. Don't try to, what's the word, Danielle? Don't, you guys, a lot of people are just happy just building that part-time business, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, thinking about how even a lot of people said, I want to help that stay-at-home mom, or I want to help that person that is on unemployment. Or if you think about the niche of people that you want to help too, your message will resonate with them and they'll find you. So even just getting that focused, it was interesting how some leaders, had that mindset.
Absolutely. And it's Cindy Buck, she said it years ago, and I hear it all the time. If you want to eat with the classes, serve the masses, right? If you want to eat with the masses, serve the classes. So think about that, you guys. You want something that everyone really wants to be involved in. Here's some notes that I thought were really good. Really six steps to success. And this was for David Ammonite, who's just incredible. But he said, of course, to really, really be successful, if you want to grow a really big business, you do kind of have to be obsessed. But a couple things that you're going to have to do. A goal has to be written down and it has to be clear. Now, if you see the last three words of clear, it's ear, right? And so not only can I see it, but he says he takes his goals out every day. He looks at them and he says them out loud so that it's so clear. And then he also says, I am so happy that I now have. He talks everything in the present tense, that I now have. And just because your goals haven't happened yet, it doesn't matter. That it doesn't mean that they aren't happening, but you have to have it with you all the time and to know this is where I'm going. Because if you're really pulling them out and you're talking about this, if you're not doing the action steps, it's really not a goal for you. It really hasn't really gripped you. Also, a date of completion. He's got that date of completion when he has that goal that he wants done. And he's also saying, I am happy and grateful now. And he's actually celebrating what it feels like, what it's going to be like. Personally, many of you have heard me talk about, I remember I was out on a run, and I've always been into affirmations. I say things out loud, and I literally had to stop, and I was so overcome with emotion, I was crying because I could see myself at convention. I was getting that hug from Vertus Norton. I was crossing it as a brand new diamond. I could smell it. I could see the entire experience. Then I had to compose myself because I had a few miles to run home. But in reality, I was simply a bronze, I was a new bronze associate. But I knew so clearly what I wanted to attain. So he talks about, I am happy and grateful now. So again, celebrate your goals before they've even happened. He also talks about list the obstacles that are going to try to stop you. So right now, even list the obstacles that you might have going on. Is it negative people, negative associations? And sometimes you're going to need to eliminate yourself from them in your life. You have to have a season of separation. And you have to know what those kind of enemies are in your life that are going to stop you. And sometimes you're going to have to remove yourself. There's going to be the naysayers, and sometimes those are some of the people in your family. So make sure you're going to have that belief in yourself, but make sure that that's why you're surrounding yourself in these groups where you know that my goals are attainable and it is possible. Number 4, identify who you're going to work with in your support team. Who is it that has what I want to have? Hopefully, for many of you, that's one reason that I created a CA United as well. I knew that my organization was so big and there's just not enough of me, not enough time in the day. And I knew that I wanted a place where we could store information, that we could put content, that people, now that I have a global business that's working 24 hours a day, people could access me whenever they wanted. So again, where's your group at? Who are you mentoring? And I can tell you, I've never wanted to take advice from anyone that I don't want to change places with, right? And I've always wanted to follow leaders who are doing the do. They're not just being a history teacher. It's about they're really making it happen. Number 5, have a plan. How many exposures are you making? How many people are you working with? And you guys work with the willing, work with the people who want you. So how many presentations, opportunities are you making to open your business? And also, your doors must be open. Develop a habit of showing the plan, developing the leader within you. Make sure you're doing your own personal development. There was a lot of incredible books that were shared this weekend. And of course, give yourself time to succeed. This is going to take time. We all talk about the 10,000 hour rule. It's going to take time and effort because many of you are professionals on this call right now. You have college degrees. You've worked for, a decade or more in your chosen profession. So don't feel discouraged or downtrodden that your goals in ASEA haven't been accomplished yet. We applaud you, but it does take some time and a learning curve. Let's see, I love this, what he said too. He goes, I can't wait for 1 million people to quit my business. That's kind of shocking. 1 million people quit my business, because he said that means 1 million people have joined. And if I get 1 million people to join, this thing is just going to continue to grow. Number 6, what's in it for you? What are you going to do once you accomplish your goal? And let me tell you guys, it's always about next step, next step, next step. If you've ever been on a hike, it's always like, oh, how much further can I go? Because the view just seems to get better and you have another goal. And it's not always the goal. You guys, again, to me, it's the journey. It's who you get to become. And it's not just who you get to become, because it's about the lives you change in this business. You will never get to any pinnacle of success in this company unless you make a difference for people. And so again, I just love this. I'd really, really recommend that you take a little bit of time going back to ASEA United, and actually we're turning those into some units as well. But there are great, amazing TED Talks, as she mentioned, that are concise. I would certainly watch the social media ones. I actually have all of their PowerPoints as well. But take a little bit of time and watch those videos. All right, Danielle, give another point while I pull something else up.
All right. I think the other thing was that they talked about on the first night, they talked about just where the profession is. Mm-hmm. And something that really hit me was that they kept talking about the gig economy. Yeah. And so that's like people being able to sell things on Etsy, on Amazon, people doing Uber. And how many of you know somebody, friend, family member, colleagues that are doing that? Mm-hmm. And they said, look, those are all people that if we were talking about this profession the way that we need to be, would be opting into this profession. Because if you take the reality of an Uber driver, most of them getting a couple $100 extra, maybe a week or a month, then they've got to, pay Uber, pay gas, wear and tear on the car. What they're actually taking home is not that much. But if they were putting the same effort into building a network marketing business, same amount of hours, okay, I drive for an hour in the evening. Okay, if you did network marketing for an hour in the evening, where would you be a year from now? It would not be with a more damaged car. You'd have more money in your pocket. And it really hit me of like, people want the opportunity. And it's not to leave their jobs and, create some massive income, but like they just need a little extra money and they need to be shown how to very simply do this. And I think something, with the ASEA is sometimes we get so complicated with talking about redox and really getting into the science because we get so excited about it that like the average person is like, yeah, I can't do that in my spare time. So if we can keep our message so simple, look, it helps your body to better heal itself, to hear where the repair needs to happen. That's it, period. And it's a new technology that's coming to market. If you want to be a part of that, you can be. We're opening up lines of distribution. It doesn't take, much time at all in your day. And so that to me, Denny, was like, it started off the conference making me go, oh, you have like these blind spots on like, oh, the whole world is looking like how many people have the Uber app now, not to get rides, but to drive. So anyway, those are conversations. If you want to know good people to talk to, get an Uber and talk to them, because
so you know what? After he talked about that, I had to actually go take an Uber somewhere, and I asked the gal, "How much a month do you make?" She goes, "Oh, probably about $1,000, maybe a little bit over." And I said, "How many days a week do you drive?" She goes, "Often 5 or 6 days a week, right?" And people are looking for some people.
Yeah, we have a great option. We just don't talk about it. We're like scared to talk about network marketing, but I mean, there's nothing to be scared of. What we have is powerful.
It's powerful. The other thing, we really talked a lot about tools, right? You guys, don't be the tool. And it's got to be about duplication. If you need to go do a fancy schmancy, where it's kind of all about you, or if it's not duplicatable, it can't really move and progress. So that's why it's really important to really start using your toolbox, for sure. I know that, and also even with what Danielle is saying, this is like building a wall. If you just keep adding that one brick every single day, just keep adding one brick, being consistent, you will get better at this. Now, Danielle, have you gotten better at talking about ASEA and doing your business over the last few years than in the beginning?
Yeah, I put my foot in my mouth 1,000 times, and I still do today, but I learn every time based on the response that I get from somebody. And you can't say enough the wrong thing to the right person. They feel your heart, not your words.
That's right.
So you get better and better at the words, but just keep talking from your heart. And guys, the only way to do this business is to do the business. So, you got to get out there and do it, and you'll get better. And they said the same thing with social media, which made me feel comfortable, because I thought, wow, I'm putting myself out there, but the reality is, you'll evolve with it. And if you don't start trying, it's not going to get better. Like, I did my first live video today with Alyssa. I went to visit her. So it took me 4 tries to get that live video up there.
5,000 views already, I think. Amazing.
But what you don't know is I called her baby the wrong name because I was so nervous when I started. She was talking about ASEA, and we meant to not say the product name. So, and then it didn't upload right. Literally that live video happened 4 times. I didn't know you could make a live video and then delete it and then do it again. So, you don't know what you don't know until you get out there and do it. And anyway, I just said, I'm going to implement what I learned. Alyssa, we're going live. She said, okay, let's do it. Mm-hmm. Then 5,000 people now, moms, right, are going to get impacted because Alyssa and I decided to share for 5 minutes, multiple times, but 5 minutes they got up there about this. And that impact is huge. And it's far reaching for days and weeks and months and years to come even.
So my dear friend, Jordan Adler, the author of Beach Money, that many of you have probably read his book as well. I just always love listening to Jordan. He really talks about, you guys build relationships, create relationships, and stay in touch with people. And again, it might be no for right now, but just, talk to people, be a good human, be more interested than interesting. Another one, I remember what someone said was, know more about, I wrote it on Facebook in ASEA United. Know more about their crabgrass, basically, than talking about your weed killer, right? So you guys, if you find their need, they'll be more interested, whether it's, again, better wealth, better health, or both. But most of the time, all of us are just talking about the weed killer, and you don't even know what weed you're trying to kill for them. So that was another great point, I think, that we learned. The other thing is, many of us, again, the money is so different for everybody. And for many people, they're really doing a lot of looking at this. It's not the big money. It's just that little bit of money. And do you know the latest statistic says that $347 a month would keep most people out of bankruptcy at this point? $347. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. And that's why it's so important to me that even on Facebook, I said, who's making a couple $100 a month? How is that changing your life? Because it does change people's lives. All right, Danielle, over to you. What else?
I guess what I was thinking was, for those of you that maybe are thinking, I can't afford to go to this conference. I don't have the funds for the plane ticket, the hotel, the conference ticket. One, set a goal for yourself that have your ASEA business pay for it. Because I was told by one of my mentors, look, with what you make in your business, invest 10% back into you. And the return on that will be 30-fold, because our business is between our ears and we need to get ourselves elevated away from, they talked about this, one guy talked about, a lot of people are they're turtles. They're they can see what's in front of them. They're never really looking up. They're kind of in the grass that's around them. And then you get this giraffe that walks by that has this huge vision, can see more. And they start talking to turtles about like where they're going, and the turtles don't get it. But the moment that giraffe can talk to another giraffe, okay, now they're going somewhere, but even the giraffe is limited. They're talking about how, there are eagles out there. And so each of us, I would say, you're a giraffe, right? At minimum. So find those eagles that have an even bigger vision, get yourself around them. And if you can't physically get yourself to the conference, they're all online.
And so the conference online was $47 even.
Yeah.
So again, to be able to learn from some of the best, it was great. But I was so grateful that Danielle took the time and the effort to be there, because I think her vision just expanded more to an eagle, don't you think? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it definitely did. I'm like ready.
to see what's possible. And again, it's not simple, but you know what? It's a lot more simple than working 40 hours, right, Danielle, for 40 years, right? The possibilities and the freedom. It really comes down to freedom, I think, in the long run. Any other takeaways that you might have had? I just love hearing this from your perspective.
I think I hit on all the ones. I mean, there were so many good ones. I think, there's a lot of different, one whole day with social media. So that's why I keep coming back to that. But I think that they talked about how each platform has a little bit of a different feel. And so you don't need to master every platform, right? Pick one and do one little step at that, right? Pick Facebook, start just making posts so that your friends are used to hearing from you about whatever. And then maybe join a group. Or if you like Instagram, well, start researching some hashtags that you like, that you want to follow, see what those people that post in that post about, posting about. It was interesting, kind of the dynamics with each platform. I guess the key takeaways I had is Instagram, strangers are more likely to engage with you. That platform has a lot more young people on it. Mm-hmm. And if you reach out in a direct message to someone on Instagram, they're way more likely to say hi to you. Versus Facebook, some people really feel like, nope, this is my friends, my family. If you're talking to me, you're some weirdo. And so they can be less open, but Facebook has these great groups you can get involved with, pages you can create. There's so much that Facebook offers with live video. And then YouTube, they talked about YouTube is a great platform because your content lives there for years. A lot of times Instagram has stories, they're gone in 24 hours. Facebook, you get some traction for the first day or two, but that post that Alyssa and I made is getting traction today. But by the end of the week, it's not going to be getting, another 1,000 views on Friday, most likely, right? It's going to get that today and tomorrow, and the people that saw it will remember and refer back to it. But it's just figuring out which platform do you want to have a voice on, and then figuring out the next step for that platform. And don't compare, I think this is a great point, is like, don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody's chapter 30, right? Demi is on a whole nother level with her Facebook than the rest of us, right? Alyssa is as well. Myself, I just said, well, we'll do a little bit. So wherever you are, start there and just decide where you want to go and just start, like Denny said, 1 brick a day, just start kind of building it up. And consistency is key in this business with whatever we do. So you have a vision of where you want to go and then kind of act plan to how to get there. Anything's possible. After this weekend, I'm like blown away by what some of these people have done in this business.
Possible, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Looking at your faces, add value. People will start to follow you. I mean, I see Donna's face here. She's a pro with horses. Talk about some of the things you love. Talk about some tips and ideas when you're out in the barn. You guys add value to people because that's what they want. It can't just be about buy my product, join my team. Oh, don't do that. And because I've warned you all, if I see you do that on Facebook, I'm going to message you, okay? It's never buy my product, join my team, and here's my link. No. You can't do that. Plus, Facebook doesn't like it anyway. They actually don't like it when you put a URL actually in your post. Mark Zuckerberg does not want to take, their people's eyes off to a different one. If you're going to do something like that, you put it down in the comments. But add value, add intrigue. You know, you can talk about, oh my gosh, I'm having so much more energy, or I'm sleeping like a baby. You know, it's great if you want to take some of your skincare and go, you know, if you want to once in a while make a little kind of an ad, but you need to be having 7 or 8 good posts that are about your life, your family, your interests. Who are you? Just like Danielle said, I think if you look at my business, my page, you're going to notice I'm all about my family, you know, our lifestyle. And then of course there's my business, what I'm doing, but I don't often push my product a lot. Then every so often I'll do something, you know, really about the product. But you want people to follow you. They do business, you guys, with people they know, like, and trust. And they're going to stay with people that they really are kind of getting some value with as well. All right, so we are over our 30 minutes, but I do want to open it up really quick. Does anyone, first of all, Danielle, you're a rock star. Love having these millennials in our business, and love watching what you guys are going to be doing. But does anyone have a question for Danielle or myself before I let y'all go for the night? Or everyone's just so amazed by what she said. So there's nothing else to say. Kathleen, thank you. Kathleen, it was fun seeing your comments this weekend as well. It was such a great event. Thanks, Jackie.
I'm not missing it next year. I can tell you that. There were so many people on that stage that I know and love from behind the scenes and stuff, and feel so privileged to have a personal connection with. And I just need to be there in person next year.
It really is just such an incredible profession. And again, to hear so many of them say, you know, any product that they can buy, that they would buy from a grocery store, they're trying to buy from a network marketing company. And to see all of us coming together, elevating each other in the profession, it's really a beautiful thing. And that event, and everyone is there. No one is paid. There's no paid speakers. Everyone pays their own way. And again, this is the Association of Network Marketing. And I am proud to be a professional network marketer. And I hope you guys are too. When you can start to really internalize that. And again, this isn't for everybody, but it's not for me to be an attorney either. Many of you might know I was further along in accounting than Tom. He tells me all the time, Denny, you would have been so fired. So you know what? We need to have everybody who's doing all of those different things as well. But our product can help all of those. So we hope you got some great value tonight. But please take the time when you have them, and just those they're like 17 to 20 minutes long, those little TED Talks. And I put just quite a few of them there, in there when I went up and sat up front. So anyway, thanks everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Denny. Bye, guys.
Here, I'm going to unmute you all so you can, everyone
Thank
can
you, guys. Fabulous call. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, ladies.
Amazing. Just terrific.
Night,
everybody.
Night.
Thank you.